The next presenter who is going to talk about digital data and creativity is Astrid Kowalczyk, who's Digital Growth Strategist at DDB. Astrid is one of the 3 digital strategists at the communication agency DDB Stockholm. She started at DDB in the summer of 2014 and was the first growth strategist in place at the agency. Astrid is an expert in target group analysis, digital business development, conversation optimization, and in creating strategies through data analysis. Astrid's biggest strength lies in combining consumer insight, long-term thinking, and her long background as a creative. Take us away, Astrid! Yeah!
Hi, everyone. I'm also going to do this presentation in English. And I don't know why my screen is not... There you go. Hey. As this conference is all about getting more personal, I thought about introducing myself a little bit more. I love traveling, and I love exploring. And that's why in 2012, I decided to move to Sweden. I'm from Belgium. In 2013, I started studying at Hyper Island. And in 2014, as Rickard said, I started working at the agency DDB in Stockholm. But maybe that's a bit boring for you to know. I also became a captain that year, which I'm very proud of. In 2015, I decided, okay, it feels like I'm having a steady job. I have a boyfriend here. I'm probably going to stay here, so I'm going to buy an apartment, and on top of that, I got a cat. Now, what about 2016? Well, besides the first gray hair I discovered this morning, which I'm still really shocked about, I'm going to talk about digital strategy, marketing, and personalization. So let's focus first on the personal part. I'm going to start with a few problems and insights that we found, or that we see several times coming back at the agency. One thing is that people talk to people. People have a very hard time talking to brands. And that's why it's very hard for brands to make their consumer engage with their brand. On top of that, trust and communication are crucial to understand the brand. And what we see is that when people understand your brand, they will convert much better and they will engage with your brand. So both engagement and trust are very important for a brand impact. But we see that's not enough. There needs to be some kind of common understanding. You need to know your target consumer to be able to get that trust and engagement. So could we say that trust plus engagement times target consumer creates a brand impact? Well, this is a formula that you can find back on the internet. I didn't create this. When you talk about engagement marketing, this is something that you will find. But we see at the agency that's still not enough. Why? Because we believe that clear goals have a bigger impact. Plus, you need to know your goals to get the right impact. So for us, the formula becomes trust plus engagement times your target consumer. Divide that by clear goals, and then you will hopefully get much more brand impact. So to show you a little bit more in detail, I thought about presenting a case. And that makes it also, again, a bit more personal, right? So the case I'm going to present is about Gina Tricot. I bet most of you guys know what that is. It's a fashion chain here in Sweden that has more than 180 stores in the whole of Nordics, or in all the Nordic countries. So that's Norway, Finland, Sweden, Denmark, and also they exist in Germany. And when we started to work with them at the end of 2014, they gave us a very nice brand Bible and a book where they had their vision and their goals for 2015, 2016. So they wanted to attract the 25-year-old. They wanted to engage with the 20 to the 29-year-old girl, and then they wanted to sell to the 18 to 35-year-olds. But they didn't really know, or their clear goals were actually to drive traffic to stores and online, but also to engage the hard-to-reach target group by providing content that they are passionate about. That was their clear brief to us. So basically in their brand Bible, they were describing this target group, but they didn't really know where this target group was and what they expected from the brand. So before we started creating a new campaign for them, we did a lot of research where the target consumers actually were and what they were expecting. So what we found is that 84% of the 25-year-old girl lives in cities. 97% of them have the possibility to be constantly connected. 65% have access to 3G. This was at the time that we did the research, so I think at this moment it's even much higher. 94% are consuming their digital content on mobile, and 96% is part of a social community online with the highest rate on Facebook. So what did they expect from a retailer? They wanted speed, instant delivery, easy access, 24-hour access. They want personal communication, but they also want to see a community. They expect to see the same community online and offline. When they enter a store, they want to experience the exact same. So our key takeaways for Gina Tricot at that moment were, we need to go mobile. There is no way that in 2015 we create a site that is not mobile adapted. We need to create unity. We need to create unity for the whole brand, online, offline, in all different parts of the campaign. We need to become much more personal, and we need to create a community on the channels where they are, not where we think that they are. And what more about the 25-year-old girl? She has very big demands and very high expectations. So now we talked about the target group, we talked about the goals to drive traffic and to engage. What about the trust and engagement? Well, we created that by mixing elements that the target group is looking for. To create interest, we needed to create content that the target group actually would want to consume on their channels, to the channels that they already are on, and by addressing them at their own terms without pushing out anything. These elements were fashion, music, and tech-savvy content. The channel that we chose was YouTube, where they were already daily consuming their part of their content, and we chose to only go through view, not to push them any content right in their face. And then the content was a heartbreaking storytelling at the end, and at the end of the campaign also a concert. So I'm talking about the Say Blue campaign. Maybe some of you have seen it, or maybe not. But to stand out in this overcrowded already space online, we needed to create something special. So we decided to team up with Say Lulu, which is a Swedish pop band consisting of these two girls. And they're already quite fashion savvy as well. So they connected very well with the brand. And what we did is we launched the very first 360 degrees film on YouTube in the whole of Nordics. The timeline of our campaign looked a bit like this. We split it up in a pre-phase, a mid-phase, and a post-phase. And during that pre-phase, we wanted to create a hype. So we worked with constant PR activities, both pre and during the campaign, to both start to hype the campaign, but also to maintain the momentum once we were going. We had a collaboration with a lot of bloggers throughout the whole of Nordics, but also in Germany. And while we were having the pre-launch concert or a pre-release fest, they were constantly on Snapchat, Instagram, throughout the whole evening. And we gained a lot of PR during the release fest in Stockholm Fashion Week. Now, in the mid-phase, we launched the campaign for all the rest of the world, or the Nordics, which was a true view campaign, existed out of 3 stories. So you could basically, through this, if you were surfing on Google Chrome or on the YouTube app, you could go in the video, change the angle, and you could follow 3 different stories, and which were 3 couples, and you could follow them from the rise to the fall. And it became very heartbreaking in the end. So I was thinking of showing you a short part of the clip. What you will see is the whole clip. So this is the non-adapted 360 virtual reality clip. So what would happen on YouTube is that you would only see the part where they are singing, and then you could change the view yourself to see what was happening around them. Anyway, if you want to see the whole clip, you can go and find it. It's still on YouTube. But at the same time, when we launched the video, we also launched the music on Spotify, another channel that was very important for the girls at that time. And we launched our microsite on the Gina Tricot website, which had 2 clear call to actions. It was either you go to the Gina Tricot web shop and you could shop the collection, or you could tell your own heartbreaking story and win a ticket to the concert. And that brings us to the last phase, which is the finale. And in the finale, you could contribute with your own heartbreaking storytelling, or with your own heartbreaking story. And by doing that, you could be part of the very first Heartbroken concert, which was a live performance by Say Lulu here in Stockholm. So to take part, you had to post your breakup story, and the breakup story was posted anonymously on the website. And like that, it created an entrance ticket for the concert, and the more sadder your words were, the bluer your ticket was. Sad. Now, what about the results? Because Gina Tricot really had been suffering quite a bit with reaching that target group. So the first goal was to drive traffic to the stores and online. When we look at the traffic on the site, we can see that when we launched the campaign, we had an increase of 39% in traffic since that date. But not only that, also search on interest in the brand increased between 52 and 135% across the Nordics. So awareness became much bigger. On top of that, we wanted to engage the hard-to-reach target group, by providing content that they are passionate about. Well, here we could see that we had more than 500,000 views only in the first week without pushing it out, without forcing people to watch our video. We reached 90% of the demographic target group. And the music video on YouTube was enough for more than 2 years of watch time, so more than 2 years of engagement time with the brand. even though the video is 3.5 minutes long, we still had a video view-through rate of more than 30%. So the only thing that is left for me to say or to show you now is a small case film, I was thinking.
The hub of the campaign was a cover of the bluest of all songs, the Bobby Vinton classic Blue on Blue, now performed by the Swedish pop duo Say Lulu. The song was launched with a music video where you could follow 3 different couples. You experienced the rise and, more importantly, the fall of their relationships, all in 360 degrees. The song was also released on Spotify. Now it was time for the grand finale of the campaign, a live performance with Say Lulu dedicated to the broken-hearted. This is how it worked. The only way to get a ticket was to post a breakup story on a campaign site, a short story about your saddest breakup. The stories were then anonymously posted on the site and transformed into a specially designed ticket and sent to your phone. The more sad words used in the story, the bluer the ticket. The ticket was scanned in the door and used as a background behind the stage. The campaign was widely spread, and the music video got over 500,000 views just during the first week. By embracing the autumn blueness, we actually made Gina Tricot stand out from the fashion crowd, showing that a fashion brand could be about the inside and not only the outside.
So I think everybody was very satisfied. Both Gina Tricot and we were very satisfied with this campaign. Thank you.